Like, subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos from PHN Learn. For more videos, download our app from the Play Store.
Hello all, welcome to PHN Technology Private Limited. In this series of session, we are going to learn more about loops. In competitive exam, what happens is when you use the for loops, there are many different ways to write this for loop, right? So that means there are many types of for loops. Now let's say one by one. Let's say here I have taken for, then semicolon I, let's say condition 10, okay, then semicolon again I plus plus. Now if my statement is here and there is a body, like say here I have a complete body over there of for loop, is this wrong? No, this is not a wrong statement. I can write my for loop like this also, because here I have to do is I is equal to 0. See, the error has gone now. What I have done, I have given the semicolon. Remember, in for loop there are two semicolons and these two semicolons are the must. Even if you are writing it blank, but still you have to give the semicolon. Two semicolons, right? I have given the semicolon over there, but I haven't add one parameter of for loop, that is initialization. But beforehand, before the for loop, before the writing the for loop, I have initialized it. So will it make any difference? No, because I is initialized somewhere, and in for loop the main necessity is what? I have to add two semicolons. There I have also done it. Then how is it wrong? It is not wrong. Yes, if I haven't used this, let's comment this. Let's say I haven't done any initialization over there, then it is definitely wrong. Now you can say it will give me an error. These are some questions which you get while solving the errors. Solve the error of the code. These questions are there. Maximum for loops questions are there. Similarly, let's remove this. Similarly, let's say I haven't added this, but I have give the semicolon over there, right? So, but I have given like this. Save it. Now this is also right, but let's say I have removed this semicolon. Now see, that is giving me an error, right? That what does it means that two semicolons in my for loop is necessity, right? And hence, even if you haven't initialized it, even if you haven't incremented inside the for loop condition, but you have done it somewhere in the body or somewhere above the for loop, then it will work. It will definitely work. This code won't give me any error. Remember this. Okay. Similarly, I can do like this also. Int I is equal to 0. Then again j is equal to 0. And here I have written I plus plus j plus plus. Yeah, come on. Now see. What I have done here, I have used two initialization and similarly I have used two increment also, but two variables. Now what happened here is this right? Because I only have allowed to write one condition. I only have used one variable to initialization also, to increment also. But now there are two variables. Then is it right? Yes. This type of for loop is also right, that is multiple initialization and multiple increment and decrement of a variable in the same for loop statement. So this is also right. The difference is here only you have to separate the two variables using comma and not semicolon. Because in one for loop statement, I'm repeating again, one for loop statement there is only allowed of 2 semicolon. You can't give more than 2 semicolon over there. If you did, let's say here I have given semicolon. And let's remove the comma. See, it is giving me error over there, right? So this was your types of for loop. And again there are again this was again there is small type, that is here, like this. See, let's say I have given this for loop, okay, only this for loop, I haven't add anything, I haven't add any parameters over there. Then what will it give? Is it right? I would say yes, it is right. But the only difference is here I will get an infinite loop. I will get an infinite loop. Okay. This code is not a wrong code. This is right code. But the only difference is I will get an infinite loop. But I am getting an output. I am not getting an error, right? So this code is not a wrong code. Now you will question that why these infinite loops are needed, because whenever you like use this, then it will go infinite. Then what happens is you get your command prompt or your IDE hanged. Your IDE gets hanged. Why? Because there is a error of stack flow, right? Stack flow overflow, right? So these infinite loops are needed in examples like, let's say you have your operating system. That means I have my laptop over here. Now the moment I'm starting my laptop, from there till I am shutting it down, it is working, right? That means it is going infinitely. Till the time I am shutting it down by myself, it is going infinitely. Similarly, if you take your PUBG game or any other game, right? So what happens there is you log into your game, you start the app, but when till the time you are not exiting the game, the game runs, it works in your mobile, right? So that's where these infinite loops are needed. Okay. So this was all about your for loops. Okay. Now again we have a keyword. Like in break we have studied a keyword, that is break. In while loop we have studied a break keyword, right? Now again there is a small type of for loop, and that is at the end semicolon. That is, let's say here only I will add a semicolon. Now, is this wrong? No. If you remember, while learning the while loop there, do while loop, I have put a semicolon after the while condition. Why? Because there the while loop was bodiless. That was the end of my code, and hence I have given a full stop over there. That means I have given a semicolon over there. Similarly, if you have a bodiless for loop, then there you have to add a semicolon over there. Now this was all about your for loop, right? Now there is again a concept of continue keyword. Likewise, we have studied break keyword in while loops, right? Now here is a continue keyword. Let's take an example of that. Let's remove this, and then int I is equal to, let's say, 10. Okay, let's take this n. Now for int I is equal to 0, I is less than or equal to n, I plus plus. Okay. Here if I is equal to 5, then to continue I will write a printf over here, printf, let's say person D, ampersand, then comma, ampersand, I. Okay, save this and let's run this code. Now see, my code is run, but here you can see from 1 to 10 it is proper, but in between I haven't got any 5 value. Why? Because here I have given if I equal to 5, then continue. Now what this continue does is, continue skips the value. Continue helps you to skip certain values based on certain condition. And will begin the loop again from the beginning. Right? Let's take an example. You have a database of your student. In your college you have database, but from database I want to retrieve data of students which have initials of starting from R, and rest I don't want to see. I want to only retrieve data of students which are having initials starting with R. Right? So here what I will do, I will write such a condition that students having initial R, I will give it, I will run the code, and in between I will give it either if it is not R, then continue. Now what will it do? The moment it will not get initial as R, it will skip all those, records, and it will begin the loop again, just like it does here. This is the work of continue keyword. If you want to skip certain values from a pile of values and you want to begin the loop again, then you will use a continue keyword. Right? So this was today's your session, and we have learned here how the for loop in details, how it works in details, and a continue keyword. Right? So I will stop here for today. This was your today's session. Let's meet for the next session. Okay? Thank you and goodbye.
For more videos, download our app from the Play Store.